Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm an intuitive coach and mentor,
And I'm Luisa. I'm an awakening coach and energy healer.
and we're your spiritual besties.
We're just everyday women having an extraordinary human experience.
We've both been led down the path of amazing discoveries through the power of spirituality.
So, we're here to share our experiences as we dive deep into all things sacred.
Our hope is that we can contribute to the collective conversation to help you feel less alone and more confident as you walk the path to becoming more connected with the universe.
We'd love for you to join us each week as we share our discoveries and navigate this journey together. There's nothing outside of ourselves that's going to give us the answer that we're looking for. The answer is it's right here. It's maybe painful, but we don't have to suffer through it. That's a choice that we make. And you made that point earlier about pain and suffering. And I think I might have heard it from you actually the first time was the pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Can you speak a little bit more to that? Because I don't think I do it justice explaining it the way that you did to me. And that was really life-changing for me, understanding that there will be pain, which is scary, but suffering through it can be optional.
And I want to emphasize too. So you've been saying how much transformation that you've been having and with all the work that you've been doing and your awakening. And since you struggled with anxiety and depression, and maybe are all on that journey, right? It's maybe it never fully goes away. In some cases, it's a natural human response to a certain feeling, right? But where you were before your awakening till now, what would you say on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, anxiety and depression versus where you are now?
The depression, I can speak clearly to, I was definitely like a 15. I was so depressed that there were no decisions that I made in which I took myself into consideration at all. It was just, I had decided that I was basically dead while being alive. I was okay with that. I was definitely at a 10. And where I am now, I would probably say a 1 only because maybe if it comes up, I'm able to quickly flip it with being so much more aware, but it's not something that I experience continuously like I did. And with anxiety, I'd probably say my anxiety then was probably like a 4, and now I definitely don't have any anxiety. I would put that at a 0.
See, exactly. And the session that we did, how impactful was that in helping your anxiety and depression at the time?
So when I met with you, I still was experiencing the depression. Like I'd woken up, I was aware it's an illusion and all of that, but there was anxiety actually because I don't know where I'm going.
Hey there. What if I told you that I have the exact roadmap that will take you from feeling unfulfilled, stuck, and overwhelmed to living a life that is truly meaningful and filled with purpose? Well, I'm super excited to announce the release of my brand new masterclass called The Clarity Code: 3 Steps to Discover Your Passion and Unlock More Meaning in Your Life. So, if you're ready to finally figure out what you're meant to do in this life and how you can feel incredibly fulfilled in your day to day life, you can go ahead and click the link in the show notes below. Access this brand new masterclass right now.
I'm just taking these steps and I know that I'm co-creating my life now, but I didn't know. And I wanted to know, I need to know, I need to plan and all these things. And then depression wise, I was going through, that was my first period of what I call isolation. I think I told you this when we first met, actually. You were the first human being that I had a human interaction, like person to person with outside of my children for 6 months. You were the only human being I had contact with. So I was pretty depressed. I would probably say that at that point, my depression was probably at a 7 when we met for the session. And the anxiety, I would probably put the anxiety pretty close to a 3 because I was like, I'm going into this journey. I understand now what I'm here to do, but like, where are the steps? Where's like the list? On what date do I do what? And I think the session, it brought me to a deeper understanding of, hey, not only is this not things that have just happened in this lifetime, also, you have very little control over it. And also, you're going to be okay. I think that's what the session with you really allowed me to grasp was like, these things that had happened, and there were some pretty significant things that you were able to bring out for me to experience in my past lives that were super impactful. But there was that one thing in this life that I did not realize how much it had impacted me. And cutting the cord there with you, I think that was so much more impactful than I even realized. It was like, I'm gonna be okay because that happened. It had already been like 10 years since that had happened, and I was okay. I was, not only was I fine, but the 10 years following that, my life flourished in the ways that I thought I wanted it to at that time. So it was those three things that really allowed me the space after your session to come into myself and see that no matter what happened, I was going to be okay because I had been okay from my past lives, and I had been okay from the experience that I'd had in this life that had been so impactful.
I love that. That's amazing. And when you think about it, tying it back to the whole idea of pain and suffering, I think this is the biggest breakthrough that I would love everyone to take. And it's just good for us to be on that wavelength, because it's this idea of healing and pain and suffering can seem very out there. It can seem very like confusing, or like it's so difficult. But the thing is, the most powerful truths are often the most simple. And so if we think about it, like truly the definition of healing is just connecting with that part of ourselves that's already whole and healed. So that's a great testament, right? Is like through all the work that you've been doing, and even our session, but all of the work as a whole, you've been connecting more with that part of you, and that's what's been facilitating all the healing. Because again, it's there's an illusion that we are disconnected, and by our own belief systems and our own emotions that have been perpetuating that, we've literally, because of how powerful we are, we're literally connected to the divine. We're our own creators. We're literally going to create that if we believe that. So if we believe that we're cut off, what are we going to do? We're going to manifest illness, right? So isn't that a pretty good thing for the church back in the day to be like, you need us? No, you're not connected to that, right? Because if you believe it, you're so powerful. It's not the absolute truth. You're going to come back around at some point. But at least for the time being, you're going to be creating that pain and suffering because you're going to be believing that you're not connecting to that. So that's why I have no doubt it's just 100% a fact that if you go through sessions like this, if you go on your awakening journey, you're going to be more healed because you're coming into alignment with that part of yourself.
Yeah.
And that part of yourself is what brings all the healing. If this is our soul, if this is like the essence of who we are, that's 100% healed, and this is us, and we're getting away from that, of course, we're going to be manifesting some suffering. But the more that we actually just go right in the center of that, all the healing occurs. And then that's where the transformation comes too. Transformation, in a sense, is just more maybe like a lot of healing, right? A lot of coming into alignment with that. So, what's going to transform you? Well, committing. So, when it comes to pain and suffering, it's yeah, absolutely, pain and suffering is a choice, because pain and suffering is basically you just deciding to not pursue what you know to be true deep down for whatever reason. Maybe just, it's allowing that fear or whatever to control you, allowing these things outside of you to control you. Because essentially, once you actually start moving in that direction, surprisingly, it's a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. And we make it seem like, oh, healing, right? It's like they've made it seem like, oh, well, healing is, you got to go through surgery, you got to get cut open, you got to take years
Yeah.
and all this type of stuff, and it's like scary. But the actual truth is that you're actually going on a whole journey of self-discovery. It's an adventure. It's the greatest adventure of your life. That seems pretty fun to me. And so whenever you're actually going down the route, you're actually getting healing, and then you're like, oh. And not only is it healing, but it's actually like you stepping into your own power, you stepping into your purpose, and taking your power back from wherever and whenever, as I like to say sometimes, it is. Because the more you stay in that state, the more you're been able to continue suffering yourself.
Yeah.
And so everyone watching this video is not enabled anymore, right? People are only enabled like to the point where they're not completely ready for it. But once that person gets ready, what happens? Their higher self comes online, and it's like, oh, this person's ready. Ding, go here, look at this. Go. And now they're starting to pay attention, right? So now it becomes a choice. And that's It goes back to what you said is once you're actually saying, hey, this person keeps coming up into my awareness, I should go check out what they're doing, or I keep seeing things about this, or I keep seeing angel numbers, or I keep, but then it's a choice to stay ignorant, to not keep going forward and to stay in your own. And then it's all you, right? So you only have yourself to blame as to why you haven't got the healing that you could have.
I love that. And a great way that I do want to tie this up, it ties along with something that I think you just brought into my awareness. And I think it's so important because you're right when you say that when we think of healing, because it was true for me, that it sounds like surgery. It sounds like something painful. Like, what am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to give up? But this has, for me, has been the most beautiful and ongoing, and I know that it will be ongoing for life, the most beautiful journey of my life, the most enjoyable, the funnest journey of my life, because it's exploration in every way, whether it's a pottery class, an art class, which are the things that I enjoy, whether it's dance or whatever. Healing is not surgery, which I think a lot of us do have that perception of it. Just that healing is one thing and it's painful. So thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for being here today.
This is a lot of fun. And yeah, it really just reiterates to me how all the illnesses, when you think about it, every single illness, and especially again, like people, different clients coming to me and I'm able to put different trends together, like autoimmune issues. If you have an autoimmune issue out there, I could say with about 95% confidence that you are also very self-critical, because I found that literally autoimmune is the body attacking itself, but it's also that reflects in the mind that gets brought in from past lives, from ancestors, from all of this, of just this being very hard and very hard. To where your body is literally like, hey, just since you haven't got it yet, we're going to start attacking you so that you can understand you're attacking yourself. So what is the cure? What is the solution? What you specialize, going to you, right? Self-love. That's the key, right? So all healing can be distilled down to just connecting with that part of yourself. Anxiety, disconnected, right? Separated from that part. Depression, sad, disconnected, not, it's everything that is healing. Once people understand that, it just makes sense. It's, oh, so you're telling me I could cure every single thing just by being connected to myself?
Yeah. Yes,
It's
that's
that
what we're
simple.
saying.
Yeah, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
But the road to actually find yourself is going to be a lot of fun. See, it's transforming those beliefs that it's like people think it has to be painful.
And it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
If anyone is interested in learning more about quantum healing, and this is another thing that I've developed since the last time that we connected as well. I'm calling this tentatively the quantum leap technique, where we do a lot of these back-to-back sessions. And I've just noticed that, man, the results have been pretty phenomenal with how quickly you can really get into alignment with that part of yourself. So if anybody out there is interested, just send me a message and happy to share more.
I love that. And we will link all of your contact information in the description and in the show notes for anyone who wants to grab them. Like I've been saying the whole episode, my journey with you, with Alex, was absolutely transformational, and it pushed me on to this journey that changed my life. So take advantage of that. And if you're in Austin, I had an in-person session and that was amazing.
I still do in person. I'm actually moving to shift to online, but I'm still doing in person as of now. So if you're in Austin, yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy that. Yes. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much, Alex.
We are so excited to announce that we have created a brand new Sacred Shift Besties meditation and journaling starter kit, and we're giving it to you absolutely free.
It includes a guided meditation for inner peace created by yours truly,
as well as a beautiful printable journal loaded with prompts to spark self-reflection and gratitude. And you can download it right now by clicking the link in the show notes.
Enjoy! That's a wrap for this episode.
We hope you found some inspiration, a helpful tip, or maybe just a good laugh.
Remember, amazing human, you are not alone on this path to connect with your inner wisdom and the universe.
To stay connected and keep the conversation going, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if this episode resonated with you, share it with your friends, family, or anyone who might find value in it. Until next time.